Welcome to Night Talk with Joe Roxx, featuring one-on-one with Kimberly Murray. Take it away, Kimberly. She left. It was a minute to 9. So, by the way, Kimberly and I are taking over the show. Joe is on hiatus. And Kimberly walked off the set right as I went live.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, what timing? I go, one-on-one. Where are you at?
I thought you were going to give me a minute.
Yeah, that was a minute.
I wasn't even gone 30 seconds. Hi, everybody. Joe can't be here tonight. We've got a lot to talk about, lots going on in the U.S. and even here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I live in Broken Arrow, but we're a suburb of Tulsa. And I'm sure everybody heard about the shooting where Betty Shelby shot and killed unarmed Terrence Crutcher. The interesting thing is I have a friend who is good friends with the officer who tased the guy. And the thing that the video does not show is 2.5 minutes before that one squad car got there, they had already tased him once, and he did not comply. He did not fall. And they had a feeling he was on PCP. And then, the cop tases him again, and she draws her weapon because she thought he was going for a gun in the car, and then she shoots him. And a lot of people also do not know that her husband was up in the helicopter that was also filming. He's also a police officer.
I did not know that, but I did see that they did charge her with first-degree manslaughter. I saw that today.
Yeah, and that's punishable up to 4 years in prison if she is found guilty. And Tulsa is known for, if you do a crime here, you're going to do the time. They will get to the bottom of it. Oklahoma actually has the most incarcerated women in the world. They have zero tolerance. So, unpaid parking tickets, speeding tickets here, they will take you to jail for minor infractions. And so once we get, they haven't even released the police reports. That's what really shocked me, that they went ahead and did an arrest for her, but yet the police reports have not been submitted yet.
I wonder if it's one of those deals where they're trying to appease, the protesters before it gets to that point. Because right now in Charlotte, they got the MPs, they got the military down there, they got Humvees parked on every corner, MPs with M16s out, and just trying to keep riot control. It's almost like martial law down there.
I know. My husband actually stayed up last night till 1 a.m. watching it, and he was a nervous wreck when he went to bed. That reporter that they tried to stick in the fire, some of the things that were going on were really sad that people will do this. And the ironic thing is in Charlotte, North Carolina, it was a black officer that shot a black armed thug. Well, of all the things.
I think it was the brother or sister, one of the family members. I don't know who it was, but I heard that one of the family members said that all white people and cops are the devil. And then they said live on the air.
Yeah, it was his brother said that before reviewing the videotape. That's why they had them go watch it. Now, here's the thing I feel about those riots. There's a way that they can stop them, don't you?
What's that?
All you have to do is play the national anthem. They'll all get on their knees.
Oh. Well, you look at the riots that are going on right now. You're talking about they let them see the dash cam video, the family members, and they asked them
Correct.
what their comment was on it, and they said no comment because they know it was legit. They actually released live leaked still photos. They had the officers on top of the person. I don't know what, but they were all blurred out. But you could see the gun sitting off to the side of them, and you could tell it's not a book. All the witnesses say that it was a gun.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see that one? The one guy on TV last night. He goes, "I don't care if he was holding a book or a gun. He shouldn't be shot." Well, I'm sorry. There's a huge difference between holding a book and a gun, and you're a thug.
Well, the one thing about it is, I can understand if a guy has a gun and he's asked to put it down and he complies. then he shouldn't be shot. I can understand that. If he complies and
I
does what
agree.
he's supposed to do. But if he doesn't comply and he makes any effort to shoot anybody or shoot the officers, they're going to return fire. I mean, and, you know, I used to get in arguments with Jimmy, which is Joe's old producer, you know, Jimmy from Pot Talk. And he would get so mad. Oh, they ought to train him, shoot him in the leg, or train him to... No, because you're not.
So you're not trained to tick them off. You're always trained to shoot in the harm. I mean, it's just like the military. They're not trained to harm.
You're trained to stop the threat. And you're
right.
trained to shoot them center mass, because the reason why is you could shoot them in the leg and it not even stop them. And,
that's true, especially if they're on PCP.
And if you're in a fear of your life, you know,
you
that's
shoot
when
to
you're
kill.
Shooting. You're shooting to stop them. I don't care if it's one shot stops them or 5 shots stops them, because the reason why is if I'm not in fear of my life or fear of somebody else's life, I shouldn't be shooting.
I agree. It's all all this PC police, under Obama's administration, there's just so much crookedness and so much political crap that's going on. It's why it's, led to this. Yes, we've had riots in the past, but not to this magnitude, not this many. I mean, I have great friends. My neighbors are black. My best friends are Mexican, and he has destroyed our race relations in this nation.
Well,
and Al Sharpton, he's supposed to be coming here next Tuesday. He needs to take his old races back to New York.
Well, they had, they sit there, and for how many decades has most of these cities been under Democratic rule? And the Democrats are using them because they always expected to have their vote, no matter what. They figured that they were a given, that they were going to vote Democrat because they were going to hand out money to them. Well, they figured out, people are starting, I was listening to, different talk show hosts today, and they had different black leaders on, and the black leaders said, people are starting to get smart. They're starting to come around and understand that, hey, they're not doing what they said they were going to do for the community. They're not helping them to, raise up the communities. The communities are in a shambles right now.
Yeah, they're holding them hostage. They're keeping them unemployed or poor, and so they can't, better themselves. They reward people who are unwed and continue to have babies, and it's a system that's just going to continue to fail.
They said right now the blacks in America are up 56% in food stamps under President Obama.
Unemployment's up. Lack of homes is up. I mean, more homeless people. There's way more homeless.
Yeah, unemployment rate is like double that of whites. And it wasn't before.
Even the homeless, have you not noticed? Like, we have noticed that there's way more homeless people than there ever used to be. And there's children. I mean, this is a disgrace to America. I mean, the children should not be homeless ever.
What I don't like is that we have homeless people in the United States, and we're giving so much money overseas. We're talking about, we have homeless people, Americans, in the United States, and we're bringing in refugees from other countries like crazy. I mean, it's like they want to do is change the demographics of, and guarantee that they're going to have, certain more voters are going to vote Democrat.
While they're systematically destroying the United States, we are no longer the country we used to be. And if we don't get Trump in office, we are in big, serious trouble.
Everybody, I listen to people and they tell me, they go, oh, Trump's an idiot. And Trump says, I said, but the thing about it is he's not a criminal. I talked to an attorney just the other day, and I had a discussion with him about, with all the evidence for Hillary's emails and what she did in Congress and everything. He goes, there is no way that they would not, they would go for a grand jury, not indict her under that. Just anybody, if it was you, me, or anybody, would have been indicted.
And if it was Trump, he would be indicted. Even Trump.
Oh yeah, it's sickening to see our society to where you look at the guy, the one airman or Navy, he was busted for taking 3 photos of a propulsion system on a submarine, and she spent more time doing illegal stuff. Well, what come out this week? I don't know if you saw it. The IT guys The day after, the judge told them that they were supposed to retain all the emails and everything, and they wanted all the information. The IT guys went on Reddit and asked for assistance under an assumed alias name that he uses, his username, and asked for assistance on how to remove VIPs from email archives and DST files. And they asked it on multiple different sites. So the guy,
I saw that. And,
the guy's just like...
And they used old-fashioned hammers to destroy evidence, even though there had been, Congress had subpoenaed all that information. It should have been protected.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just amazing that they sat there, and now they're holding this guy in contempt of Congress. But Elijah Cummings is all, Democrat, is all like, oh, it's a big thing that they're trying to just set it up, And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. It's not a big thing. It didn't start. The problem is, this did not come from a Republican. It came from the Democrats in the White House. This attorney that I talked to says that this information came from the Democrats, come from the Obama administration through the back door because they cannot stand Hillary. And
that's true.
Bill Clinton come out and told Obama that either you support her or we're taking you down too. So,
yeah, I heard that Obama cannot stand her. I don't even think Bill can stand her.
Well, you can tell that.
He can't stand to sleep with her,
I couldn't either. That's a scary situation there.
I don't think Joe was married. I don't think Joe could do it either. I don't even think Jimmy could do it.
Oh, I don't know.
That'd be a far stretch.
I don't know. She's not a very attractive lady, that's for sure. But did you see the picture of when they showed her and her eyes are going like going, all different directions?
We saw that. My husband and I actually, we watched the deal and we did it in slow motion so we could see, because we try to watch it in normal mode, and we watch it in slow motion. You can kind of see that. She has to have some neurological disorder. And, she's lying on her teeth. She said, I'm perfectly healthy.
She spent a year in the hospital, they said, when she was supposedly running for the senator of New York or whatever. And supposedly when she was there in the hospital in New York, I heard she spent a year in there. I'm wondering if with that neurological disorder, if maybe she has a glass eye. If they had to do something like that, and that would make sense why the one eye doesn't sync with the other one.
And why she's always wearing glasses. Sunglasses, dark colored tinted glasses to match her, like her blue pantsuits, and she's wearing orange. If you notice, they match.
Well, she also wore that one special lens when she did in front of Trey Gowdy and all them when she was testifying in front of Congress. She wore a special lens that was like a prism lens. So something's wrong with her eye. I mean, you could tell there. But I love.
Yeah, she didn't have a lazy eye before, so all of a sudden she has one.
I don't know. She had to do is cancel another, press conference or whatever it was, a fundraiser deal. So she canceled that. So I'm wondering if next Monday they're supposed to meet. They're supposed to have their debate, which is funny. What they do? They do it up against the NFL, Monday Night Football. So they get less viewers, I'm sure. But I'm wondering if she actually, if she shows.
I've had pneumonia before several times. I get the pneumonia shot every 5 years, and I'm going to tell you straight up, I can't walk that day, the next day. I mean, if I'm sick in bed with pneumonia, I'm sick in bed. There is no way that she had pneumonia. It had to be something neurological.
There's no way 3 hours later you're all of a sudden, hey, I'm great. I'm wondering if maybe it might have been diabetic something. Because a diabetic, as long as you get sugar in you, then you can function.
Correct. Or something, even my older daughter has 2 types of epilepsy. Even epileptics. I mean, they can be fine, 3 hours later. I mean, it's something, I believe, something neurological, or like you said, it could be diabetes.
I've heard so many different, takes on what it could be and what it can't be and different things like that. It's amazing. And all these doctors that come out, Dr. Drew Pinsky come out. He lost his show because of it. They told him
I saw that,
it, and they said take take that back or else. And he said no.
And there was a huge, we were conspiracy. We were so against her health, and look what happened.
Yeah, everybody was talking about her health, and all of a sudden they had to finally come out and say, well, yeah, she has pneumonia. So, but the thing
and
is...
then she was kissing that little girl's pneumonia? I don't think so.
Oh, well, she was standing there. I love the little picture it was. And somebody put on, hey, you want pneumonia, little girl? And she's leaning over, putting her face in her face. I mean, if you got contagious pneumonia, which if
someone
you only
has pneumonia
had it on Friday and it's Sunday, you're still contagious.
Well, she said she had bacterial pneumonia, and that doctor came out and said there's no such thing as the strain of pneumonia that she said she had.
Yeah, this Lisa Bardock or whatever, who happens to be her doctor, maybe she's a witch doctor. Who knows? Maybe she shrinks heads or something. I don't know.
She might.
But no, and there was a big conspiracy theory going around about how she looked like she'd lost a bunch of weight, that she'd come out, maybe it was her double or whatever. But I don't think so. Now that I see it more, I don't think so. I think it was her.
Yeah, I've seen her double. I've seen that, and she's actually been with her at times and taken pictures.
I mean, she looks close. She does resemble her quite a bit, but I don't think. No, I don't think that was her. I think it was actually Hillary Clinton. I think it was. You see, she had to get helped up the stairs again.
Oh yes,
she
does always.
Just what's today? The 22nd. It was just 2-3 days ago. So their Secret Service had to help her up the stairs. I'm like, it's she's at home resting, and Trump is out at a campaign stop. So is Pence out at a campaign stop. Pence is out in the pouring rain at a campaign stop with crowds outside early morning with more people than she has ever drawn to it. So I don't, I've heard, people talk about that, when Dole ran for president, that he used to draw big crowds and everything, and he got, ran over. But the way it's looking, I tell you what, if Donald Trump does good in these debates, it might be a landslide, and I hope it is.
Well, he's leading in the Fox News polls for Ohio, Nevada, and North Carolina.
He's leading.
That was a shocker to some
leading
people.
In the other polls, the polls which they don't expect him to. The ones where they all and then all of a sudden, they what is it? CNN reports that she's still got a 1-point lead. Like, what freaking Fantasyland poll is that at? What do they go to kindergarten and ask the kids or whatever? But
I know it's kind of like Stein. Stein only has a 2% vote in Ohio. I mean, I can't believe that they even that person should be embarrassed they're even listing that. 2%, nothing.
Yeah, Jill Stein. She's the one who got I don't know if they charge her for graffiti in the the pipeline. They were supposedly had a warrant out for her.
Oh, that's right under Hillary's crowd. If you've been arrested and have a warrant, she'll hire you.
Yeah, but they haven't arrested Hillary yet.
No, she needs to be arrested, though. She should be in prison. She shouldn't even be allowed to run. I don't know how they have not removed her security clearance after she clearly violated all those rules. And how can they even prosecute anybody else who comes forward or in the past when she's done much worse?
Yeah,
I mean, she's giving everybody a free get out of jail card, a free pass on this.
I think you posted something about where it was talking about the title that she violated, and what it would do is restrict you from ever serving again in federal office.
I did. I posted that whole article on that.
Yep, I thought that was a great article. I checked that out. I think we're having double echo there, but no, there it's better now.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's a true statute, and she should be disqualified from even getting a security clearance, which would clearly disqualify her from being a president. Even if they don't want to charge her and put her in prison, they can at least yank that. Then she's not qualified to run.
In another note, going away from Hillary, you look at probably dumb. It was a dumb quote of the day. I don't know if you heard it from MSNBC, Christopher Hayes, where he was talking about the Charlotte. It says, or actually, it was not. I'm sorry. I take it back. It was not Charlotte. It was the New York bombing and New Jersey bombing. He said, we're very lucky the attackers tried to use explosive rather than guns. And I'm like, what are they talking about? But do you notice how Charlotte has just completely taken over the narrative? They talk nothing about New York anymore. There's nothing about the bombings. There's nothing about the terrorists. It's like, let's get our mind off of this, the terrorists here. And
they did they find those other two guys that they were looking for?
No, they're still looking for them. But the thing that got me is Anne, what did they do? What's her name? Not Jarrett. What's her name? God.
The Attorney General?
Yes, Loretta Lynch. We're sending a team down to investigate this. How many times have they sent a team to investigate a white guy getting killed?
All the time. Never.
Yeah, right.
They never investigate. When a white guy dies, there's no investigation.
No,
here's the other problem.
The Department of Justice is sending a team down to investigate this guy getting killed in Charlotte, and they want to do is investigate the department. And then they're going to find out that the department, which is predominantly black, is going to be racist. And I'm like, how? The chief's black. The almost the whole department's black. But they're racist.
The officer that shot him was black.
I'm just like, God, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Well, the problem with Obama and that whole administration is they still will not call them Islamic Muslim terrorists. They will not call them Muslim terrorists, and they clearly are Muslim terrorists. I mean, I'm sorry. You have to call it what it is. But they still refuse to use those words because he protects his Muslim brothers at all costs to our security, to our nation. It doesn't matter how many American lives are going to be lost. He's going to protect them. He's going to import them. And did you see where they gave over 800 of them citizenship? And over 100 of them were supposed to be deported.
Yeah. They said
I'm sorry.
They didn't have their, fingerprints on file. Come on.
And and they can tell us, we're clearing them all before we send them in. They've all been vetted. They're liars. I mean, they're lying through their teeth on everything. Texas just came out and said that they're going to refuse any more refugees if they cannot vet them properly. Did you see that?
No, but I think that's a great idea. The problem is they'll bring them there without them even knowing. They're hiding them, and that's what I think is so ridiculous is how they go behind the people's back and put these people into, like they'll bring them into Detroit. What did Bill Clinton want to do? He wanted to use all the empty housing for the government housing for refugees. Well, why not the people that are homeless there now?
Right. Why not we have a lot of homeless people, like I said, homeless veterans, homeless Americans, homeless children. It's really disgusting. And especially that we're treating refugees better than we're treating our own people.
Yep, and then Hillary got on, what is it? She was on, I don't know what channel she was on, but she did her little speech about how our policies that we need to do is, right to work and everything like that. Well, the problem is making, they said that Trump was busting up the unions. The problem with, so you got United Auto Workers. What's that doing for them when all the jobs are going to Mexico? They just moved all the small car manufacturing to Mexico, a plant down there. What good does that do for any United Auto Workers here in the United States? Zero.
Nothing. Zero.
What do you think the Cadillac North Star engine is made? Well, what do you think North Star? What's north of us? Canada. Wow.
Right.
Where do you think the Chevy bed and the Ford beds for the aluminum are made? Actually, the aluminum is from Alcoa, but the everything is stamped and the truck is made in Mexico.
I mean, Obama has diluted and destroyed the jobs that we did have here. He's destroyed companies. And, I mean, we're a whole lot worse than when we started with him. Way worse. We're not even safe. I mean, you can't even go to the mall or anywhere because there's probably going to be an Islamic Muslim terrorist. I'm going to say it because he can't.
Well, it's pretty sad that we won't. And What is it supposed to be? Separation of church and state. In 1952, the United States banned Islam from the United States in 1952.
Correct.
Because they was not cohesive with the, with the laws of the United States.
Now with our Constitution, I mean, it clearly goes against it. And did you see Obama went and spoke at that Christian church, and he demanded that all images of Jesus be removed?
Really? Nice.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Take a look. They do still photos of him when he's there wearing his ring. And if you can see a still photo of his ring, they showed it, and as they show his ring, it's got writing on the side.
I've seen it.
It's in Arabic.
Right. It is.
And the writing says Allah is God or whatever.
Right.
So I'm like.
But they also believe that Muhammad is God. That's who they follow.
They talk Allah is Muhammad. He is. They call him Allah. That's why they always call Allah Akbar or whatever. So they say that Allah is God.
I want a snack bar is what they really say.
All right. But no, it's
what it sounds like when they're yelling it. I want a spark.
Did you hear the audio from? If you go on to, God, I could actually get it's on. I can't play it over here that you would hear it, but I could play it to where people would hear it over the radio. But they talk about. It says, guy was driving his car down the road, and he's playing the radio, and it says, Trump. It says Trump goes 26th. And it just keeps repeating it over and over and over. And it says Trump goes 26th. And it's like a robotic
I haven't heard
voice.
it.
Yep, I wish I could play it for you to where you could hear it. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. I'll play it up to there so you can feel for a little
Well, one of our sponsors is called Hub by Echo. And they are the world's first hi-fi audio that you can listen up to 10 people to a single audio source. I mean, that's something that we might want to get for ourselves. I think it was just released in July of this year. And there's a lot of hype about this new product that's coming out, or that's come out now on the market. It allows users to share 96 hertz 24-bit audio, double that of CD quality, with each user able to independently control volume and equalizer settings to suit their individual listening preference. It can even be used to instantly connect multiple speakers or stereo systems without the hassle of running wires.
I wonder if with Obama wanting to give up our internet, what's going to be happening there?
Trump has spoken out against that too.
I'm trying to find it on my phone. It's a little different on here, but I want to do is play the audio because it's actually kind of eerie.
It looks like if people want to order it, they can pre-order and go to www.indiegogo.com, and they can pre-order them. They're going to sell for $119 plus shipping in the U.S.
Sounds cool.
I think we might need to get that.
Yep.
The other thing about the riots here in Tulsa, I don't know if you know this, but me, I have my dad. My family was not originally from California, but my dad has lived here because he got kicked out of California many years ago for too many speeding tickets. Well, in 1921, we had the Tulsa race riots. I don't know if you heard about it, where over 300 blacks were murdered. And it's where they called it, it was like the rich district of the blacks, where actually planes are flying over and burning and dropping fire bombs like onto all those buildings because of those riots. And Tulsa really hasn't had riots, I think, because of that fear. But you can go read about it. It's kind of interesting history. But I think if Al Sharpton thinks he's going to come here and cause a race riot, then he just needs to go back home. Because like I said, Tulsa and in Oklahoma, I mean, if you do a crime, you are going to pay the time. So, they're very strict. And there was actually a guy that was, I don't know if you knew it, he was here in Oklahoma too, where he was, I think, an assistant officer who wasn't a true cop, and he thought he pulled out a taser and pulled out his gun and killed the guy. He got 4 years in prison, and it was, clearly an accident. But they charged him with first-degree manslaughter, so he got 4 years. And my doctor actually knows him and his family. And, he said, the guy, was just out helping. He was a volunteer is what it was. Volunteer, and just happened to kill a guy accidentally. Because they had trained him, he trained at the department, the whole 9 yards.
Well, they're hard on crime, so they're going to probably be hard on the people protesting too, won't they?
Yes, they're going to be hard on anyone who thinks that they're going to, be looting, destroying property, trying to burn people. They're not going to tolerate it.
I can't believe that they tried to burn that reporter, and then one CNN
I know that
guy
was disgusting.
He was live on the air, and they haul off and just slugged him in the side of the head.
Well, the other thing is, Oklahoma, we actually do have a lot of educated people here. We have a lot of educated, Black, very intelligent people here. And, I mean, they're awesome people. They're great parents. I mean, we have Oklahoma has more NFL players that come out of our colleges than any other state does. I don't know if you knew that. And they're all pretty much educated, very, very smart people. And they're not going to tolerate for, our city being destroyed and looted. They'll go down there too. They'll stand right alongside everybody. It's not going to happen. I don't know why the people in Charlotte don't stand up for it, because a lot of times they're burning their own places. They're burning their own stores that they go to and shop at. Like I said one time, is the one place they're not building or burning are the welfare offices. You don't see them burning those. They want that welfare check coming in, that money, and that's what's holding them hostage. We're also not a democratic state. We're pretty much majority Republican. In fact, we were the only state that did not vote for Obama, and we made the national news then.
Do you see here? I got the audio for it. Just listen to this.
Manipulated by well-financed political forces who are trying to sway public opinion in a natural direction that only serves.
I guess I got to listen to the commercial first.
Always good.
Here we go.
I hear it.
That's all it plays over and over and over again. Trump will go 26th. I have and it's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds of audio. This guy's like, it's off of a radio station there. It's like 7 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning when he's recording.
And he's saying that?
No, he's driving down the road and it's playing over his radio on the AM radio.
Wow.
It's on 16:30 AM, and he's driving down the road, and this is broadcasting over the radio. So what is it going to be, like an assassination attempt on the 26th, or they don't know what it is. They just like, it says Trump will go 26th.
Where did it originate from?
Let me give you the location. Hold on. It says he was driving on New Jersey Turnpike, recorded a bizarre radio message that repeatedly stated, Trump will go 26th. It leading to some speculation that the radio station had been hacked. It says, and it talks about the YouTube clip. It says, what is this? Asked, turning the stereo off before turning it back on, hearing the message once again. It was heard on 16:30 a.m. at 7 a.m. on Monday morning, and went on for a full 5 minutes. It said,
wow.
It said people speculate that the radio station had been hacked, and the message was a rogue transmission. So it said, this is seriously freaky, commented another YouTuber. So, yeah, that's a little weird. And
that's
Russia
crazy.
is hinting they think that they'll make an assassination attempt on him.
There's already one guy that was arrested for an assassination attempt on Trump, but he wasn't from America.
Oh, yeah, he was a Mexican national. I saw that. It was at the rally down in Dallas or something like that.
Right.
But did you see what they did, the Charlotte guys did in the riots down in who they looted? They looted the wrong place.
No, I didn't see that, but I know that they were checking their shoe sizes, I heard, in some of those places.
Yeah, but they looted the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So how many rednecks do you think they just pissed off that love NASCAR, that they're going to piss off that... I told one lady that today, and she goes, my mom is going to be so pissed. And I was like, and it was, her mom's got to be in her, like her late 60s, 70s or whatever.
Wow.
She's a NASCAR fanatic. I said, you think how many NASCAR fans there are that it's going to piss off? That's crazy.
Now, Oklahoma has a lot of NASCAR fans here too.
Oh, you talk about it. They were trying to build the Iowa, it's called the Iowa Speedway or whatever it is, right here. And it just killed me that this is years ago, but the people in the area that were in charge were all fighting against because they had so many regulations on them and where they could be, and they said screw you, and they finally built Newton, which is halfway across the state. So they lost all that.
Wow.
But yeah,
they lost revenue too.
That's what I'm talking about. They lost all that revenue, and I talked to my dad about it. My dad says, "Oh yeah, but you wouldn't have been able to hear yourself think about." I said, "A couple times a year, and it's not that bad. You know, they put walls up so it blocks most of the sound. I mean, you might hear a little bit, but I just like not in my backyard. Oh, it's going to ruin my, But we want the money. We want the revenue for it."
I know that's how it always is. Hey, did you see that election fraud video that I posted today, where they proved, they had 8 people that are in charge of that. They randomly picked a number to test so that they, hadn't pre-programmed it. They had 8 people vote, and they said, "Do you agree that there could be election fraud or not?" Well, 6 people said no, 2 people said yes. So they ran it through. First, they showed there was no votes counted. Then they ran each vote through. And then it came out with the final answer. And instead of saying 6 people no and 2 people yes, it said 7 people yes and 1 person no. And those people who, monitor those polls, I mean, they were crying. They were, literally crying that this type of corruption has been going on in our country. We pride ourselves on being honest. We used to be known as an honest country. We are no longer honest. That's why all these countries hate us now.
The problem with our election is we're supposed to be a democratically elected society. And the problem is when you get to the point where you don't feel that you, it doesn't matter if you vote or not, they're going to do is cheat their way around it anyway. That's when the people, what they did way back in 1776, they finally got pissed off and got tired of these people bossing them around. And what we're going to have is we're going to have another civil war if we don't watch it.
I'm afraid that we are, especially if she gets elected. And I don't know anybody who likes her. That's the other part. Where are they finding these people who are going to vote for her? It's very far and few between.
If you can manipulate a computer, then you don't need it. But the problem is if they sit there and they cheat their way into election and they have a civil war, the problem is you're going to see the weapons that we have nowadays. It's not going to be anything fair between the civilians and the military. They're just going to do is take people out. It's going to be sickening.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of military people are going to shoot against innocent, civilians and children.
I hope not, but if they see them armed, trying to defend themselves, then they will.
Well, yeah, because then we felt a whole bunch of propaganda, too. I know. Well, we already know that Hillary did... she already corrupted the election when it came to Bernie Sanders. She was behind all that whole thing. I mean, clearly he was in the lead. And we have proof from her emails now that have been hacked that DNC was behind that.
Yeah, Nancy Wasserman or whatever. And then she goes,
Debbie Wasserman.
Or Debbie, whatever, I don't care. She got let go from the DNC or resigned from the DNC because of disgrace.
And the next day Hillary hires her.
Yeah, and then, okay, well... You're not that disgraceful. Come to me.
I mean, that right there, we know that Hillary was funding her. The other thing is her Clinton Foundation, only 5.8% actually went to true, people who needed it. I mean, here we have the IRS who will not give out, any permits to any nonprofit organizations, but they sure as hardly gave them one. And they don't even, 5.8, whatever, that's nothing. I mean, that's fraud.
Well, they had what was it? The Clinton Foundation. They found out that it was like 192 of the people that made donations to the Clinton Foundation were given positions.
I saw that. I saw the list.
And then they also, coming out today, that Yahoo was hacked for over 500 million accounts. And they're saying, oh, well, it come out in 2000 or 2 months ago. I heard it was originally hacked 2 years ago. And they're just coming out with it now. And they say, we feel that the hack was from a foreign government. And I'm like, they always use that when they want to do is make it sound like it was. Then they'll go. I bet that right after that they'll be saying, "Oh, it was Russia." They're trying to blame everything on Russia, like Russia was attacking our, election.
I know.
You look at our election.
Hillary,
if Russia would want somebody to get elected, who do you think they want elected? They don't want Trump in. They'd rather have Hillary in, because Hillary would be less likely to do anything to them.
Right. Well, just like Obama. I mean, Obama won't even do anything to ISIS or, the terrorists. So that's the perfect person to put in.
Yep. That's why they would want her in. So
she's in bed with them she's in bed with the Muslims as well as Obama is. She's taken lots and lots of money from Muslim countries. And, she says that she's for women's rights, and yet they treat women like second-class citizens. They rape children. They rape babies. And yet, how can she be for women's rights when those people are funneling money to her? She's giving them favors.
I said this on my show last. It might have been Monday night. How can you think on Sharia law that it's okay for you to marry a girl as young as 6? I think it is.
They can marry babies too.
And
it's
then
in their
consummate
babies.
the marriage when they're 9.
9, yes.
I'm like, here we call that a pedophile.
Not there. Oh, no. Did you see in Great Britain that video I posted where they were actually selling young Muslim girls on the street? And one was 15 and the other one had to be at least 12 years old. Nothing's being done. I mean, it was live video footage. Someone had videotaped it. I had shared it. I mean, it's going on. And there's nothing that those women can do.
They were talking
or those girls.
over,
they're girls.
I think was it in I want to say it was in, not positive it was Switzerland, but they said that 3 police officers a day are resigning because of the no-go zones that are over there, where the immigrants have taken over so much that the police won't even patrol them anymore. He said they're not investigating crimes anymore.
France has that. They have so many Muslims where it's no-go zones where even the police, the fire department don't go in there. And I'm sorry, they need to move to, back to where they came from, because, France, I don't care, England, Switzerland, the United States, we're not going to tolerate that.
Yeah, it's just it's sad to see what our, if that's going to end up being like this, because that's our future. If we don't watch it, that's what our future is going to be like. People won't sit there and the police won't patrol areas because they're afraid. Well, right now, would you go down in Charlotte, certain places in Charlotte on patrol? Heck no.
I wouldn't even want to be a journalist down there. I mean, that other journalist, he got something thrown at him. And did you see that poor white guy that was beaten in the garage that was begging for mercy?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
They ripped his pants off. Yeah, he did. He was white in a no-white zone.
Well, they want to, claim all this BLM, movement. I mean, it's a racist movement. Did you see that there's actually a black police officer that's suing the BLM for racism? I'm so glad and proud of him. We shouldn't have any of that crap. We shouldn't have the KKK. There's even an app you can get for your phone for the BLM. That's a disgrace.
Why they let him have that app? That's crazy, because they wouldn't let him have a WLM. But I was at work, and a guy come in the other day, and he says to me, black guy.
He showed it to you?
What's that?
Oh, he came in with that app?
No. But he was in there, and he was talking, and I was messing with him, and I was opening up a box of pizza, and he goes, "What, do you got any pizza for me or whatever?" And I said, he said something or whatever, and he said to the guy that was working with me, who works for me, who's Hispanic, and he says, "You're supposed to, hey, you're supposed to be on my side, not with Whitey." And he's joking around, And I said, "Don't get into that Black Lives Matter movement in here." And his exact words were, "All lives matter." And he reached across, he shook
That's
my hand,
awesome.
and he says, "No, nobody's any different than anybody. Everybody's life matters." And I said,
Exactly.
"Here,"
All of
and
our
I said,
lives
"Here,
matter.
have a piece of pizza." And I gave him a pizza.
That's awesome. But if we had a White Lives Matter, you think they would give us an app? Oh heck no! And I
No.
wouldn't even want one. I wouldn't even want one. That's it's just so disgusting, so disturbing.
They won't even let you probably have an All Lives Matter app. That's the problem.
No, probably not. Well, on Facebook, I'm not allowed to call a liberal a libtard anymore. I got a 3-day ban in Facebook jail.
How does that, with all the names they call, how is libtard that bad?
I'm gonna have to screenshot it next time. The first time I got a 2-day ban. This is my second time in Facebook jail. This time I got a 3-day ban, and it says on there, I violated the Facebook community standards. I called this person a liberal. I called him a libtard.
You
and
need to
I
do is
can't
post that on Twitter.
I should post that on Twitter.
Yeah, make it go viral.
And the person, she actually trolled on my page. And they can come on and troll and they can cuss and all that. And I don't ever cuss them back and nothing like that. They can call me every name in the book and that's okay. They don't get, a block or ban.
Well, that's because you don't complain.
I'm going to start complaining. Well, here's my thing. It's freedom of speech. You can say what you want. I can either delete your comment. I can ignore it. I'm a big girl. I got my big girl panties on. But they're taking away our freedom of speech and it's really scary. I don't think people realize how scary it is. If I can't post something that's, it's okay for ISIS to cut off the heads of babies and put them on sticks, and they allow that crap on there.
Yeah, I can't believe they showed one the other day, this last week, where the people would not convert to Islam, so they were stomping and crushing their babies.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, it's just terrible.
I can't believe somebody is that evil to do that.
But it's not a true religion. It's it's a political movement that masquerades as a religion. It's the only religion not tolerant of any other religion. It's a devilish cult. It has no business in the United States. And I mean, that's why we had laws back then that, prevented it. But once you elect a Muslim president, who I also believe was, elected by voter fraud, this is what happens. He's protected them.
I've heard conspiracy theories about, you talk about his birth certificate and you talk about that Joe Arpaio, whatever his name is, Sheriff Joe.
Yeah, the sheriff.
Yeah,
right, Sheriff Joe.
He says he is still going after his birth certificate. He said he thinks it. He goes, I don't care where he thinks he was born, or says he was born. He goes, I still think it's a forged document.
Well, you know that there was a Hawaii in Kenya, right? There was a city, and he says he was born in Hawaii. Are you aware of that?
Oh yes, yeah, I've heard that.
Okay,
I've heard that.
Here's the second thing. My background, I was an editor for 10 years. I worked for an old company in San Diego. This is a long time ago. And we were in business for 65 years. So we were in business when we did the old-fashioned cut and paste. You remember that? Before computers? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now. His his birth certificate was not an old original birth certificate. It was a new one that they created. Because you can look at the font. They didn't have all these fancy, different, crazy fonts that we have nowadays. You can go into Photoshop. They didn't have all that back then. I mean, it took a long time to even sit there, even the typewriters to type that stuff out. And it would have been typed out on a typewriter, as you know. And his was computer generated. His was not produced on a typewriter. And back then it would have been.
But the only thing they might have had is they had a form that had the letterhead of the hospital and maybe a spot where you scrolled your typewriter up to type in the name, and it might have the name, but it was already printed, and then you typed your name and manually typed the
correct.
name.
Correct. But no hospital there has any records. They have no records of him being born there. And he has even admitted to being born in Kenya, and his wife has even said, Michelle, Michael, whatever they want to call her, has even stated, I'm proud, to say that my husband's from Kenya. I mean, she has even said that many times. She's referenced it. They both have. That Freudian slip of the tongue. I
understand he can be born in Kenya with a American mother and still be considered an American citizen. But the thing I have is, and people go, well, those are forged documents. Like, well, how do you know they're forged? They went to school supposedly at Harvard, and his ID for his student ID says foreign student.
Right. He was a foreign student. Right. And he got financial aid for being a foreign student.
So,
and that's what I have a problem with.
If he was, then, it was probably the biggest, wool pulled over
fraud.
Our eyes. We actually let it go, and nobody fought it. And the thing that bothers me is, if there is any validity to it or anything like that, then why did our Congress not stand up and fight for it? Because they're all, it's like they're all in bed with each other. They all get the same thing. They all paid for by, big business and everything. And that's the thing that they're scared about Trump, is because they had generals now that have come out and said they're for Trump.
That's true. I think 88 of them. Hey, do you want to go to a commercial?
Yeah, well, we're almost done with we got 9 more minutes. I'm going to do is go commercials, and then I'll go right into EAs, and then we're done. So,
okay, good.
Yeah, that way we just do 9 more. But, no, you look at it, I think, it's sad to see what our society has gone to. I'm scared to think what our kids are going to grow up to be. I got a 10-year-old. When my kid turns 21, what's this world going to be like in 11 years?
What kind of country? Well, you have a son, right?
Yeah, I got 2.
Okay, well, I have an 11-year-old daughter. Do you really think I want her wearing a burqa or having to marry some, Muslim, being a slave to a Muslim or a second-class citizen? I don't think so.
I have a 21-year-old daughter.
I have a 22-year-old daughter.
Yeah, the problem is she has the mentality that Donald Trump is exactly what they have pasted him to be. She thinks he's a Islamophobe and a misogynist and a racist. And I said, tell me what he said that was racist. And she gets mad at me when I try to explain things to her. And I said, I can understand you being for Bernie Sanders because you think he was for change and you think he was going to help people and he was going to give people things that, I said, but think about it. Tell me what he said that was racist. And she goes, well, I can name a ton of things. And I said, well, tell me one. And she started talking about, the refugees in Mexico and all this. I said, no. I said, he has nothing against that. That's not, he's not for legal immigration.
He said that a lot of illegal immigrants that come over are rapists. And then that one Mexican guy who was who was calling him out on it was actually arrested for rape. And that's all he was saying, He
didn't say they're all bad.
And that's a true statement.
And he said...
Right, he didn't say that they're all bad. He said that a lot of them are.
And he said the Muslims, he wanted a temporary ban on Muslims immigrating into this country until they can be vetted properly. He didn't say they ban them completely. He just said until they're vetted properly. But well, they read into it and they put into it what they want. Like CNN did one just the other day, and they actually inserted words that he never even said in a statement.
I saw that. I have a friend, he's from Vietnam, and someone was calling, he was born there, and then thank God he was saved and brought over from our troops. And they, his daughter said to him, they weren't, what if they had banned you back then? He said, we weren't letting off the, bombs in Americans. We weren't killing Americans. We weren't coming over here. We came over and we embraced America. We embraced the culture. We appreciated it. We weren't, coming over here and, putting planes into buildings and, pressure cookers and trying to, the Boston bombings. We weren't doing all that. It's a huge difference.
You could sit there and talk about assimilating to this country, this culture. You don't have to assimilate to everything of it. You can bring your religion over. You can preach to your God or whatever they would.
Right. But they want to kill us. That's the whole problem. They want to kill and destroy us.
But you have to follow the laws that we follow by and not say, well, no, we want your laws changed because we don't like your laws. So like, oh, well, we don't like this lady wearing a bikini, so you need to do is change everyone just because of us. And that's the one.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm using that as a example, but I mean, that's the problem. That's what they've got. Is the Sharia law has no tolerance. So it's either this way or we kill you.
Or we kill you, right. And we kill you anyway. We kill you, they change their stuff on a whim.
because they don't. You have a dog in your house, so we don't like you. You have.
Or they rape you. They rape a woman, and she says they rape me. Then they kill her. I mean, they have no value on human life.
I just don't understand. Then they have genital mutilation, and they have. I mean, just some of the weirdest things that they have in their society.
And a girl that's like young as 9, they start doing that stuff. And I don't know. I have actually watched some videos on it. It is so horrible because I just wanted to know, like, what they actually. It's very gruesome. I mean, it is barbaric, and I'm not okay with any of it.
Either am I. I think it's ridiculous. It's like I don't know how.
I think that they should be imprisoned and cut off their wanker if they're going to do that crap.
Well, I don't like the fact also that we have our people that believe that Planned Parenthood should be publicly funded. I can understand giving out some birth. I can understand giving out some birth control if you want to do that. But the problem is,
I'm for birth control, but I always tell people I am pro-adoption. I'm not for abortion is not your birth control pill. I'm sorry.
That's right. And I had the exact argument with one of my nieces, and she said to me, "Goes, so what are we supposed to do? Is expect to have a baby every time we have sex?" I go, "Yes, that's why."
Or use protection, or take the pill, or use a condom. Exactly. Yes, I'm sorry, but killing a baby does not justify you having your one-night fun of sex.
I said,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Grow up.
When you have sex, you have to do is plan for the inevitable of having a child. That's what procreation is. It's not just having fun. You could end up having unfortunate.
There's a consequence with it.
That's right, exactly. And they go, "Oh, well, we shouldn't have to pay for it. We should be able to just go kill this child or whatever."
Well, I have no problem paying for birth control pills. I have a huge problem with abortion, and that's paying for abortion. Yes. And like I said, I'm okay. If the woman's going to die or the child's going to die, and they know this medically, but abortion should not be people's birth control, and that's what it's turned into. And even among the Black communities, it's even more so. I mean, it's horrible what we've done to our people. We've degraded them to that point.
Well, you look at. There is no way that Planned Parenthood should be able to donate funds to Democrats or Republicans.
Correct.
If they're receiving
funds. Because we're funding them. How in the heck do they even have the money to turn around and fund any political?
That's because they go, it's from a different part of it. No, I'm sorry.
Bull
Any
crap.
part of it should be all the same.
Correct.
So you look at the other comment I want to make before we got, I don't know, 3-4 minutes left. But how about the Skittles comment? Did you hear about that?
Yes, my husband told me. But, I posted almost that same identical. It was Trump's son. And I posted that on my Facebook before. It said, if you have a whole bowl of M&Ms, none of them are poisonous. Are you going to eat any of them? No. He said the same, example, correlation.
He just made Mars Company mad because he used Skittles.
He used Skittles. I like Skittles and M&Ms.
Yeah, but he made the Mars Company pissed off because he used Skittles, and he should have just used anything. Could have been any candy, and should have said
or a bowl of chips. You got a bowl of chips there.
Yeah, or
and 10 of them.
Yeah, if he said any kind, if you got a bowl of candy there and you got 100 pieces of candy and 3 of them are bad and they're poisonous and would kill you, are you going to eat any of them? And everybody's going to say no. It's just like, are you going to bring in 100 people until you properly vet them? No, you're not going to bring them in. I want
to know what they're going to do about those 800 people that they gave citizenship to, where 100 of them are known terrorists. I mean, they can't let that slide.
They need to revoke their citizenship.
They need to revoke it.
Lied when they got it, and that was part of the process of getting your citizenship.
Correct. They should be. It needs to be revoked.
Well,
it does.
If Hillary gets elected, they might make them cabinet members.
Oh, I'm sure she'll have them on her staff.
Did you see who's in charge of the immigration right now?
Who?
She's a Muslim. She's in
I saw that.
Yep.
I saw that he hired. Of course. Well, I've been saying this for years and years. He was firing Americans and putting Muslims into key government positions, and that's how he has managed. It's like playing chess. He has managed to monopolize all of our government control. And that's why we're so corrupt. I mean, it's never been like this bad.
Yeah, it's sad. I'm worried that something's going to happen big, false flag right before everything, before the election to try to put a stop to it.
Well, I mean, all we can hope for is that we get Trump into office. Is all I can say. We all have to get out and vote.
Yeah, especially vote everything. And also, if you see
and call your congressmen, call your senators, and you tell them you better frigging vote. It better be Trump, or else.
And like he says, if you see something, say something.
Say something.
Yep. So it's that time.
Have a good night, everyone.
Well, I want to do a special thanks to our sponsors: Eat24.com, HotSauceVault.com, Lyft, Lyft, and I'm trying to think of who else.
Hub by Eco.
There you go. And we got also trying to think of I had to move my screen so I could see it. Legal Seafoods and Joyce's at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. So and we'll be going right into Ia's segment here shortly. A few messages from our sponsors. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you.
Good night.
See you, Kimberly.
Good night.
Are you hungry?
Acme.
Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Hi, this is Cindy Hobbs with your Style Tip of the Week. Welcome back. It's Thursday night, 10 p.m., Night Talk with Joe Roxx. And my Style Tip of the Week, I think, will be very helpful to a lot of people. Tonight, I'm going to talk about hair color in a box that you buy over the counter. Now, everybody knows that when I say over the counter, I mean you're buying it from someplace other than a professional beauty supply store. And I don't mean Sally's, people. Sally's is not a professional beauty supply store. I am talking about a salon-grade product. Okay? Boxed hair color is not good for your hair. And as far as me recommending, I will never recommend a boxed hair color. There are a few things that you can guarantee, and that one you can guarantee is that you don't have a guarantee. You will never know what your results are going to be like with a boxed hair color, because you're actually using the same amount of ammonia and peroxide on your head that someone who has 100% gray is using on theirs to cover that gray. That's really strong. You may not need that strength of ammonia and peroxide, and chances are it's probably too strong for gray coverage. They want to make sure that hair color is going to color your hair, but you're not going to be sure about the results because it is not a personalized hair color. When I say personalized hair color, I mean, would you go into a salon and get the same exact haircut as everyone else? No, of course you wouldn't, because every haircut is personalized to that individual. A personalized color session is a hair color that is personalized to the condition of your hair. Let's say you go into the salon and you have virgin hair and you want highlights put in it. You're not going to go to the grocery store, people, and get a box that says have, blonde hair in one easy step. Don't do that. Please, for the love of the beard of Zeus, do not do that. Just go to a stylist and have partial highlights put in your hair. An individual, personalized color with your skin tone, your eye color, and like I said, especially the condition of your hair. If you have had color put on your hair, make sure you're honest with your stylist, because she'll know how to properly treat your hair. The lifting ability of box hair color is not reliable either. The lifting ability, you don't get a whole lot of lift with box hair color. And you will get a lot more damage to your hair. It can even cause thinning. So if your hair is thinning and you're like, I haven't had any change in my diet, whatever, it could be what you're putting on your head. All right. That is my style tip of the week. Do not use a boxed hair color. If you've been using a boxed hair color, stop now and go see your stylist. It's worth it. You don't want to end up spending 3 to 4 hours in a chair having to have a color correction done on your head. And you will save money in the long run and feel good about yourself. Your hair will look so much better. Thanks for listening. That's your style tip of the week. Come and join us again next week, Thursday night, 10 p.m. on Night Talk with Joe Roxx on Armed Radio Global.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hi there, fans and friends. This is Amrita Rupnarayan, aka Val Anistema, bringing you another Cooking Corner with Val, right here on Night Talk with Joe Roxx, every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Armed Radio Global. Tonight's recipe is a doozy. I love it. It is simple. It takes very few ingredients. It is easy to make. Limited cleanup. Don't you love that? Limited cleanup. It is thick, rich, hearty, meaty, sumptuous, unctuous. Generally, not only a crowd pleaser, but a husband pleaser as well. Now, this special recipe is called Frito Chili Pie. And it's actually a lot easier to make than it sounds. Pretty much there is a simple, hearty chili that goes on to, get this is the trick, a pack of Fritos. You can actually serve it in the Frito pack. It's freaking ridiculous. Amazing, actually. You top it off with, some chopped avocado if that's what you like, some chopped onions, some shredded cheese on that hot chili to melt in, whatever you want to put on it. And you have that contrast in textures. You have the creamy sauce from the chili, the hearty, chunky meat. You have the crunchy, beautiful, corny Fritos. And there's a special trick that I have with this chili that lends a beautiful mild corn flavor throughout the chili, but does not detract from that hearty meatiness. So it actually combines quite well. Now, if you want this recipe and more like it, you can log on to Facebook and go to the Night Talk with Joe Roxx page. You will find the link with the album right there. The album is called Frito Chili Pie. And actually it's called Crowd Pleasing Frito Chili, Cooking Corner with Val 6. And you will find it. You can follow the step-by-step instructions that's listed on each picture, and you can get the recipe in the description. So I hope you enjoy it. And remember, people, if you are what you eat, this week, make it a crowd pleaser.
And now, another fresh insight from Roger Berkowitz, President and CEO of Legal Seafoods.
If your wife can't take the time to test your tuna for purity, then why should you take the time to come to a complete stop before letting her out of the car. Just saying.
Legal Seafoods. If it isn't fresh, it isn't legal.
Hello out there in Radio Land, it's Amy Chavallo, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Northern California. I have a few unusual drinking laws and customs that still exist to tell you about. They are so weird. The first one is probably the strangest of them all. It's technically illegal to drink any wine from a teacup in the state of Kansas. While this law is extremely weird, we do have wine glasses for a reason, right? I'm in favor of this one. In Pennsylvania, you have to ask your wife. What am I talking about? Well, as far as bizarre laws go, this hasn't changed for decades. In this state, a man has to obtain a note of permission from his wife before purchasing any alcohol for consumption. Obviously, this one started being ignored a long time ago. And in Utah, it's mandatory that you spit. Yes, it is. When attending a wine tasting in this state, it's technically illegal to swallow the wine. Instead, you must spat it out. And I'm not entirely sure if people even follow this rule. I don't know. If you know something I don't, let me know and comment on Wine Talk Facebook page. I'd love to hear your comments. Until next week, I want you to enjoy every amazing day and tune in to Joe Roxx on Night Talk at 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Until then, talk to you later. Ciao.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon, Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products and organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Hey there, it's Dina from Beachbody. Thanks for tuning in. Happy midweek. I'm sorry, my daughter is, when I do these, there's like mad bloopers. You should hear them. I should save them because all I do is like say swears because I can't get the words out properly. So if you hear her laugh in the background, I'm sorry about that. Anywho, this is about getting back on track after the holidays. It was just Labor Day. It's midweek after Labor Day, and I know I totally screwed up. So tonight we're going to talk about getting back on T-R-A-C-K, track. I'm going to talk really fast. T is for thirst. Eliminate the threat of thirst. You know, sometimes you think you're hungry, but you're really thirsty, so chug up on that water. R is for rethink. Rethink what it is that's going to motivate you to lose weight or get healthy. Because, we all start out and then we lose it after we go on vacation and we kind of lose what we're doing. So rethink what your goals are. A is for arrange. Arrange a grocery list every time you go grocery shopping or whenever you run out of something. Arrange a healthy list. And I don't know if you know the secret about shopping in a grocery store. The secret is you shop in the outside square. The outside square is all the healthy things, the fruits, the vegetables, the milk, the dairy, the this, that. The inside lines of the grocery store are what? Crap, chips, stupid stuff. So we don't, we want to avoid those as much as possible. C is for cease. Cease eating out at restaurants for a while until you can get yourself back on track. And K is for keep. Keep pre-made meals in the freezer or refrigerator. So basically food prep. Because food prep is definitely another key for winning. So this is what I am talking about tonight. Let's get all back on track now that summer and the vacations are over. Thank you, Joe Roxx, as always, and everybody have a healthy night.
This is Sarah O'Rourke with all of your fashion, health and entertainment news direct from the UK. You can catch me every week on Night Talk with Joe Roxx, 10 p.m. Eastern, on the TuneIn Satellite and Armed Radio Global Network. This week's news is, and I'm sticking with the diversity theme because Kanye West has been criticised for using only models who are multiracial. I think this is a brilliant move because there are not enough multiracial models in the fashion industry. It's a category that is so underrepresented, and I'm so excited to see what this will bring for people in the communities and the diverse communities, and also the people who are buying the clothes. I want to see people represented on the catwalk, in the magazines, and I'm behind Kanye with this. I think it's brilliant. And sticking with plus size, designers at London Fashion Week should show at least 2 sample sizes, and they should be a size 12 or above. Now currently in the UK, you are usually a size 10 or below to walk on the catwalk, and it's not a real representation again of the fashion buying public. So I think the British Fashion Council have made an excellent decision that a UK size 16 or above should be considered. You know, you only have to look at the likes of Ashley Graham to see that, you know, some bigger women, you know, who are average sizes, are absolutely stunning. Now, I pride myself on adding 30 fruits and vegetables to my diet every single day. Now, you can check out the link, but you can also check it out yourself. www.saraho'rourke.foodplus.com. All of the topic links can be found on the Night Talk with Joe Roxx Facebook page.
Hi everyone, thanks again for joining me this week on Good Night Hollywood. I'm your host Ia for all your fashion, music, and gossip on Night Talk with Joe Roxx, 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Armed Radio Global and the TuneIn Satellite Network. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, Snapchat, Vine, pretty much wherever social media outlets are. You can find me at Everything Ia, and that's Everything Ia, spelled E-Y-A. There's only really 2 things I want to talk about in my celebrity gossip section this week. And first off, Brangelina broke up. What is going on? People are freaking out. It's on all news channels. And, you know, I don't know what to do. I can't go to work. I'm freaking out. The hottest couple in Hollywood has just ended. Angelina Jolie has filed for divorce, says that Brad Pitt is too strict of a parent, and he drinks and smokes pot too much. She's also very insecure. She thinks that he had an affair with his co-star, which is a little hilarious because that's how they got together. Brad Pitt was originally married to Jennifer Aniston when he filmed the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and him and Angelina had an affair and ultimately divorced Jennifer Aniston. So everyone's super excited for Jennifer Aniston since she won and they broke up. Like I said, Angelina Jolie is very insecure, so she hired a PI to follow Brad Pitt. This is crazy! This story is crazy, and I'm sure all of you have heard about it already because it broke a couple days ago, but I just had to share that Brangelina broke up. Take a moment of silence. Okay, silence over. It's not that big of a deal. Anyways, I finally watched Rob and China, and oh my goodness, it is... I think I found my new favorite reality show besides Bachelor in Paradise. Because, honestly, nothing beats Bachelor in Paradise. But I love that China is so spicy, and it definitely has a different feel than Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I recorded it the other day, both episode 1 and episode 2, and I was just binge watching it. I had my mom come sit, like we're all watching it at the house. It was so entertaining. So if you haven't seen that show, I definitely recommend it. Also, another show that I stumbled upon. I didn't even know the show was like coming out or anything about it. But it's called This Is Us. and it had the best first episode I have ever seen. The writing on the show is incredible. Personally, I think that the first episode could stand alone on its own as like its own story, like its own short film, whatever. That's how good this show is. So it just premiered this week. If you could see any of the reruns of Rob and China or This Is Us, definitely record them. Put them on your DVR, your TiVo, whatever you have. Find them on Hulu if they're out on Hulu. Definitely check out these shows. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we have 5-time world kickboxing champion turned actor Robert Parham. I'm here with former 5-time world champion, kickboxing champion, now actor Robert Parham. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm digging the heat right now. It was cold and overcast earlier this week, and now it's like a heat wave.
I know.
I'm like LA's weather. You never know what it's gonna be.
I love it down here, though.
I do too. I've been here 7 years.
7?
Over 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm like almost I'm a native, I think. It's like 5 to 7 years you're a native. And I'm like, whoa. But I love it. Everyone from LA is not from LA. If you meet one, they're super rare. I love it.
Yeah, I was born in New York, raised in Jersey, and then spent a lot of time in the military in Mississippi. So now to move to California, so it's a little different, but I love it out here.
That's awesome. That is awesome. What's your favorite state to be in?
Depends on what time of the year it is. The fall, I love New Jersey's fall. You know, the weather's kind of cool. The summers everywhere I've been are pretty brutal. So let's just say summer can be anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Hawaii?
I've never been to Hawaii.
My
I met
goodness.
an actress yesterday. Met this person yesterday. What is her name? And she lives in Hawaii and she loves it. And she came over here for vacation, and I'm like, don't people go to Hawaii for vacation? You know? So she's getting away from Hawaii for vacation. I don't understand it.
Hawaii is beautiful. I've been to a few of the islands, and it's awesome. You should check it out one of these summers.
I think I might.
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
You might find your summer spot. So you're here filming. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm under a kind of like an NDA.
Okay.
But I can tell you it's a story of about a son's relationship with his mother.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's about all I can say.
Yeah. You're wrapping up filming this month.
We'll be wrapping up by October 4th, probably.
Okay. That's awesome. Any other projects up in the works or anything coming out?
Yeah, we just did a movie called Jackson Bolt that we're re-editing. So that should be out early next year. We're doing another project right now called Soul Cage. And that should maybe summer of next year. And then later this year we're starting another project called Snow Black. So, and then I have 12 scenes left on my other feature, Bullets, Blades, and Blood. So keep them pretty busy.
That is awesome. Yeah, you sound really busy.
Keep them busy.
That is good. That is good. And do you film all those out here, or do you film them wherever?
Well, normally we shoot in the Bay Area. I'm down here shooting this project. So my good friend asked me to come, and I'm serving, not as an actor in this capacity, but behind the scenes. I'm the second unit director. We're just having a great time. We're having a great time, you know. We got the greatest cook.
Oh, that is so important. I've been on sets where I didn't like the food, and I'm like, good food is so important.
Food is good. Everybody's nice. The actors, the actresses, the producer. We have one of China's biggest female stars in the movie.
Nice.
So we're just having a good time.
That is awesome. So do you like working behind the scenes just as much as acting?
Well, yeah. I think that I look at some of the people I grew up with admiring on the screen because I'm an action guy. I'm an action guy, and I love action movies. So a lot of the people I kind of looked up to that were doing action really didn't have that transfer to behind the scenes. So I see that once Hollywood is done with you, unless you have something else in your repertoire, you're done. You know?
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I was on set this past week. We talked a little bit about it, and one of the grip guys came up to me and he's like, "Do you know how to grip?" And I was like, "No, but I could learn. I'm a fast learner." And he's like, "Would you be interested?" And I was like, "You know what? I am interested in making movies and different aspects of movies. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I have to try it to see if I like it." Exactly. Like you said, you know, once they're done with you being an actor, they're going to move on.
Exactly.
So I don't mind doing like other things. I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's great. When you learn to write, I think the missing key for everybody outside of the studios is distribution. And there are some aggregators who can get your film distributed. But that's an area I think is very, very secret and very untapped. That's an area that I plan in the future to explore so that I can be a conduit to other filmmakers, whether they're independent, et cetera, and so forth, help get their films out there, you know, because I'm just a guy trying to keep gas in my car.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you. I'm like that every month. But it's good. It keeps life adventurous.
It does. It does.
There's never a dull moment, especially not here. I mean, here in Agoura Hills, it's a lot quieter. You have a lot of parking, as you can see.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that.
I was staying in Beverly Hills last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. No parking.
Nope.
No place to park in Beverly Hills.
Nope. I've lived there. There's no parking. There's no parking in Hollywood. It's worse than Beverly Hills.
Really?
There's no parking downtown unless you don't pay like $20. There's no parking in Venice. There's no parking in Santa Monica. Like,
it's banana.
Good luck.
Banana.
But if you come about an hour out of the city, there's parking everywhere.
Yeah.
Not even an hour out. You could go to Encino and there's parking.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know much about, transportation down here, but I would love to find a place to park and maybe shuttle somewhere or take a bus around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's not much of public transportation. Really? There's a bus, but it's really gross. I've been on the bus. It's really gross. Before Uber. Just take an Uber or Lyft. That's the best thing I can tell you.
Gracious.
Don't take public transportation.
Yes. That's funny.
Oh my goodness, I have stories on the bus. So tell me a little bit about your world champion kickboxing.
Well, where do I start? I had a manager who was good friends with the president of a certain organization that's now defunct called the WKKC. And in my second kickboxing match, he got me a shot at the world title.
Whoa.
Yeah, so one of his fighters, I guess, vacated the belt and moved up in weight or what have you. And I'm rated. I only had one fight. And then I find myself in a title fight for the middleweight world title, and I won.
That is amazing.
Like, wow. So my guy, he had a lot of influence, I guess you could say. And I just went on to different weight divisions because I love ice cream. I had no problem putting down my ice cream, so I kept packing on the weight. And just went up in weight divisions, 5 weight divisions. So that was fun.
Try them all.
Except the big guys really hit hard. My last fight, I made a comeback. Was this 2002? I made a comeback and I fought Pat Barry.
Okay.
He's now a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And then he let me know that I should have stayed retired. So it was the only fight that I lost. But it was a great experience. The crowd is addicting. It's like a drug. you know. And every once in a while I wake up and I'm like, man, I can still do it. Yeah, actually, last year, was it last year or the year before last? It was the year before last. I always wanted to do a mixed martial arts match, so I did an MMA match, you know, and I was successful, but I was sore for like 2 months after that.
Whoa!
I was like, oh, I'm never gonna do this. I'm never doing this again, ever. I was so sore.
Oh my goodness. Do you watch the UFC fights?
I watch it once in a while because I think there's very few people in the UFC. You know, it's a great sport, etc. But I think there's very few people in the UFC that actually have real good technique. You know, so if I want to see a street fight, you know, I can go outside. You know, I want to see some technique. I want to see some some artistry. You know, that's what I want to see. And very few fighters have that. Very few fighters. So.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite fighters?
George St. Pierre.
Okay.
Love him.
I'll keep an eye out for him. I've been watching the McGregor Nate Diaz fights.
Diaz McGregor. Yeah, McGregor's a pretty good technician. He's a good technician. Diaz is a good ground fighter.
He's an amazing ground fighter.
Yeah. His stand-up isn't really that spectacular.
He's amazing at bleeding too.
Yeah. So he takes a lot of shots.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see a fighter who is like, you know, George St. Pierre's a good overall fighter. And then back in the days, back when the UFC was the early UFC, Marco Ruas was a great fighter. What's that kid's name? Call him the Phenom. I can't remember his name. But he knows who he is.
Dude out there, you know who you are.
He was a great fighter. So, you know, there's people who are far and few in between. I think Maurice Smith is a great fighter, but there's people far and few in between who employ, you know, real good technique and real good artistry, you know, in the cage. Everybody else, you know, they're just kind of brawling. I don't want to see that. You know?
That's awesome. Do you have any favorite TV shows or movies that come out?
My most favorite movie of recent is The Equalizer.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
With Denzel Washington. I must have watched that thing at least, let me see, when it first came out the theater, I saw it by myself. Then I went back and got my kids and saw it again. Then I went back like the week after and saw it again.
Yeah.
And then I bought the DVD. Then before I bought the DVD, it came on TV or something. I must have watched that movie at least 60 times since it's been out.
Oh my goodness, when did it come out?
Like a year ago.
Okay. That makes sense. I've been not paying attention the last couple of years.
I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. You know, before that, I enjoyed Flight. It was good. Another Denzel Washington movie. I enjoyed just for the popcorn aspect of it. I enjoyed The Kingsman.
Okay.
That was pretty good. And of course, Civil War. I love that.
Yes, I did watch that one. I did. I'm like, I haven't watched any of these movies. I've been out of it for a little bit. I've been watching a lot of Netflix, Hulu's,
yeah, Netflix.
reality TV.
Have you seen? My son got me hooked on that show about the teacher who sells meth.
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Oh my God.
I know what you're talking about.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen like 4 seasons, or up until where it gets crazy.
I sat down and had a Breaking Bad marathon. I think I watched every single show. I think it took me like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Just back to back to back. Oh man, I gotta go to sleep. Wake up, back to back to back.
So I finished, or I stopped at the explosion in the hospital.
Explosion in the hospital. Okay, so you missed a lot.
Oh, I thought I saw a lot.
You missed a lot more.
Okay,
it's a great show. I love that show, and I don't understand. Being that you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give you the ending away, but I don't see why they ended the series.
Okay.
You know, they should have kept the series going. They could have milked it for at least another 2 seasons. I love that show.
It wasn't even at like 9 seasons, was it?
I think 7.
Okay, yeah.
7, I think. Great, I love it. So my son, he watches all these Netflix shows and he gets me hooked. So I'm watching The Walking Dead now.
love that show.
It's okay. It's okay. I really don't get into the horror and the zombies and all this and all that, but it's interesting. You know, it's pretty interesting, and I watch it. You know,
Don't watch Fear the Walking Dead. It's not that good.
The what?
Fear the Walking
Fear
Dead.
the Walking Dead.
I wasn't that impressed with it, but it's only season 1. But like season 1 of The Walking Dead, I was already hooked. But it's cool because it does take place in LA, so that's a cool thing, and it shows the whole arc of how, because in The Walking Dead it's just like normal, and then it's the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But in Fear the Walking Dead, it shows the whole arc of, you know, first zombie, and then what happens, and then quarantine, and all that. So that was cool. But I don't know. I guess it's just because I was watching Walking Dead first, honestly. And I love zombies. Like, that's my favorite kind of scary movie.
Thing on Netflix, and I didn't get to watch it. I think it was called like The Running Dead. It's a play off of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
It had to have been an independent film. God, I can't remember the name of it, but it looked like a pretty blatant ripoff of The Walking Dead.
They have crazy zombie movies like Zombie Strippers or like Snow of the Dead.
So
like,
how about I Was Married to a Zombie? Did you see that?
no, I did not.
This guy's girlfriend passes away, and he goes to this, almost like a Frankenstein. Builds his girlfriend back up like she's a zombie. Like she's killing everybody except him.
That is hilarious.
Do you want some more coffee?
Yes, please. Sure. Thank you. That is hilarious. Have you been watching Petting Dreadful?
No.
Okay, that's a good show. It's a British show, but they have Dr. Frankenstein, they have Van Helsing, they have Dr. Hyde.
All
they
in
have,
the same show?
All in the same show.
Oh, wow.
They have vampires, werewolves. You know, they have all the Frankenstein people. So it's cool. I'm excited to see. It's season 3 is out on Hulu.
Season 3 on Hulu. Okay.
And like, who's in it? It's a lot of British actors, but Josh Hartnett's in it.
You notice that a lot of British actors are now the top American actors.
Yes, like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's like huge here. But I watch a lot of British shows. I love Doctor Who. I was watching Torchwood, even though the main guy's American British. Like he's both, but he has like more of an American accent. Penny Dreadful.
Like my daughter watches
Sherlock.
that. My daughter watches Penny Dreadful. She was telling me about that.
It's an interesting show. Sherlock's amazing
Really?
with Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah.
I have to catch up on some stuff then.
Yeah, it's great. Like, there's only 3 episodes in a season. Each episode's an hour and a half long. It's like a movie. So you just watch one episode and it's like a full movie.
Okay. I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll do that when I get back to my hotel.
Yeah, it's so good.
We'll be back on set tomorrow morning, so I can't stay up too late.
Oh, is it an early call time?
Makeup's got to be there at 6.
Okay. Yeah. It's early. That's early for me. I'm like, sometimes I have like 5 a.m. call times, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, why? Why am I doing
No
this?
one should be up at this hour. This is hard. And then if you have to be there at 5, you have to wake up at 3. It's like people are going to bed at 3 because they're partying too much. No one should be waking up this early.
Yep.
But you know what? It's all for good creative fun.
It is. Really.
That is awesome. So right before we wrap up, please tell everyone where they can find you and all the movies that are coming out that they can see you in.
Certainly. The best way to reach me is through Facebook. Facebook.com/Robert.Parham, Parham. Or you can Google me. And movies coming up: Snow Black, Jackson Bolt with me, Fred Williamson, and Marcus Taylor. Written by James Meyer and directed by Ali D'Souza. It's one I'm doing now, the Unnamed Project. Bullets, Blades, and Blood. I think that should do it.
Awesome.
Next year.
Definitely send me them.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to check them out.
Okay.
So send them to me. I'll post them when they do come out. so all of you can see them as well. And thank you so much for coming on my show. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. Don't forget to follow me on any and all social media outlets. You can find me at Everything Iya, and that's Everything EYA. I just want to say a special thank you to Joe Roxx for giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys every Thursday night. You can catch me here every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Good Night Hollywood. I'm your host, Iya, for all your fashion, music, and entertainment gossip on Night Talk with Joe Roxx, exclusively on Armed Radio Global, the TuneIn satellite network. From everyone here in Hollywood, good night.